Hey everyone, and welcome! We are about to dive deep into the absolutely fascinating world of team dynamics. We're going to break down what makes a team truly click, what makes it fall apart, and how a random group of individuals can, transform into this single, unstoppable unit. The legendary coach Phil Jackson just totally nailed the whole paradox of teamwork with this quote. It's this amazing dance between the individual and the group, and that's exactly what we're going to explore today.
So welcome to our fun little study group for PP 5361, Theory and Management of Public Service Organizations. We're going to be using the required text, Managing Human Behavior in Public and Nonprofit Organizations, to break down all the key lessons from Chapter 10 on teamwork. So, let's get right into it.
So, first things first, why are we so obsessed with teams all of a sudden? Well, it's because the huge, messy challenges we're facing today, they just can't be solved by old-school, top-down command structures. They really demand a whole new way of working together.
A perfect example of this is General Stanley McChrystal's experience in Iraq. The military's super rigid, top-down structure was just way too slow to fight a nimble, decentralized enemy like Al-Qaeda. So what did he do? His solution was totally revolutionary. He created a team of teams. Basically, small, empowered groups all connected by a constant flow of information. This network could finally adapt, react, and win.
And look, this isn't just about the military. Think about massive societal problems, like acid rain. Scientists had all the data. They knew exactly what was happening. But that information was pretty much powerless without the collaborative action, the teamwork needed to actually do something about it. It just goes to show, having the best answer means nothing if we can't work together to put it into action.
Okay, so we get it. Teams are super important. But what is a team, really? I mean, it's a word we throw around all the time, but it has a very specific definition. And trust me, that distinction really, really matters.
So this definition right here, from Katzenbach and Smith, this is our gold standard. Let's break it down. Notice the key phrases. Complementary skills. That means we all bring something unique to the table. Common purpose. We are all rowing in the exact same direction. And then there's the big one, mutually accountable. This isn't just about you reporting to a boss. It's about all of us being responsible to each other.
This table just makes that distinction crystal clear. A work group? That's really just a collection of individuals who all report to one leader. But a true team? They share leadership. They're mutually accountable. Think of it this way. A work group is like a track team, a bunch of sprinters running their own individual races. A real team is like a basketball team, working together, executing a complex play to score that winning basket as one unit.
And now for the main event. Because here's the thing, teams aren't just magically formed, they evolve. They actually go through a very predictable, and often pretty difficult series of stages to reach their full potential.
Bruce Tuckman gave us this absolutely brilliant roadmap way back in 1965. Forming, storming, norming, and performing. It's basically the life cycle of a team, and understanding this journey is the key to actually navigating it successfully. So let's break each one down.
Stage 1 is forming. This is the very beginning. Everyone's polite, maybe a little too polite, because it's full of uncertainty. Everyone is quietly asking themselves, what's my role here? What does everyone expect of me? And most importantly, do I even belong? It's all about finding a sense of security and direction in a brand new group.
And right away, you can see how different team players' styles react to this. The task-focused contributor immediately asks, okay, what's my assignment? What do I need to do? Meanwhile, the people-focused communicator is more concerned with, how do we all get to know each other? Let's build some connections. And both of those questions are absolutely vital at this stage.
And then comes the storm. Now, this is the make-or-break stage for so many teams. That initial politeness fades, and all the differences in opinion and working styles and personalities, they start to clash. People question everything, the leader, the mission, each other. It's uncomfortable for sure, but it is absolutely essential for building a truly resilient team. You can't skip this part.
And this illustrates that productive tension perfectly. You've got the challenger who is in their element here, right? They're questioning assumptions, pushing for new ideas. They see conflict as a tool for progress. But then you have the collaborator who's worrying that all this conflict might just tear the team apart. A healthy team needs both of these forces, that push for progress and the pull of unity.
So if a team can successfully get through that storm, they enter the norming stage, and this is where things finally start to click. The group establishes its own rules, its norms, trust starts to build, roles become clear, and people start caring more about the team's success than their own individual agendas. You get this real sense of, okay, we're in this together.
Now, during norming, the contributor is there to solidify the team's standards for high-quality work. But the communicator plays an equally crucial role, making sure that this new sense of harmony isn't just, groupthink. They're the one who's brave enough to ask, hey, are we all really agreeing here, or are we just trying to avoid another fight? That's how you build healthy, lasting norms. And finally, we reach the goal, the performing stage. The team is now a well-oiled machine. It's incredibly productive, it's self-managing, and it can tackle really complex problems with this amazing synergy. The focus shifts from just getting the job done to constantly getting better at how they do the job.
But even here, at the peak, the work is never really done. The collaborator is already looking ahead, asking, all right, what's our next big mission? While the challenger is poking and prodding, making sure the team doesn't get complacent. They ask the hard questions that keep everyone sharp and prevent that dreaded stagnation.
So we've seen the whole journey, but what are the secret ingredients? What helps a team actually reach that performing stage and stay there? Well, luckily for us, some of the world's most successful companies have studied this exact question.
Google actually spent 2 years studying over 180 of its own teams. And what they found was kind of surprising. It wasn't about who was on the team. It wasn't about having all the superstars. It was about how they worked together. And the number one most important factor, by a mile, was psychological safety. That's the shared belief that it's safe to take risks, to be vulnerable, to ask a dumb question without being afraid you'll be humiliated. Without that foundation of safety, basically nothing else matters.
So now it's your turn for a quick gut check. Seriously, take a look at these two columns. In a good team, members show up on time, they're prepared, they contribute. In a not-so-good one, people kind of drift in, the agenda gets ignored, and conflict turns into blame. Be honest with yourself. Where does your team land? It's a really powerful way to diagnose the health of your team.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. The why, the what, and the how. So let's wrap this all up into a really clear takeaway that you can start using like tomorrow.
Here is the bottom line. Great teams do not happen by accident. They are built intentionally through a challenging process. They have to embrace the discomfort of forming and storming to forge the trust and mutual accountability that leads to amazing performance. It's a journey, not a destination.
And that brings us to our final question. And this one is for you. This isn't about some big top-down reorganization. It's about what you can do. What is the one small thing that you can do tomorrow? Maybe it's asking a better question, or listening a little more deeply, or taking a tiny risk to build that psychological safety. What's the one thing you can do to help your team on its journey? Thanks so much for joining our little study session today.